audio issue. So I was talking to myself and my special guest for today, which it was a lovely conversation. Well, none of you could hear it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us for the first ever Montana Esports University of Montana edition of Montana Repetory fundraising. This is a charity event for Montana Repetory Theater. We are going to be doing a bunch of cool little Minecraft stuff for you. And this fundraiser is unique because, as you all know, we live in a current state of a pandemic where it's really hard for us to get together in person. We have to have social distancing, masking, all that kind of stuff to keep everybody safe, healthy, and all that good stuff. And Montana Repertoire Theater provides a unique service to the community, of in-person, theater, and that makes it very, very hard. So this year they're doing something unique, and they're joining the School of Media Arts to do this. And I have a very special guest here to explain what's going on. You know him, you love him, our very own Michael Cassens. So Michael, Montana Repertoire Theater is doing something really unique this year, along with you guys. Can you explain a little bit of what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So typically, thank you for having me on, Kale. And you know, we partnered with this Montana Repertory Theater is part of the School of the College of Arts and Media. So as part of the School of Media, Visual and Media Arts, they reached out to us and said, can we want to create something different, something that uh, we never done before. They had no knowledge of how to perform or create an online experience for these schools, K through 12. And just by happenstance, the whole mission of this play, it's to go out and bring theater and just that experience to students. But it's also this year was a way to bring awareness to suicide awareness and talk about anxiety and depression. And so it actually became much more real when you think about the current state we're in, being in a pandemic and how students are feeling and how teachers are feeling. And so they wanted to be able to still bring this experience to all of these students, but in a way that they can, because they can send actors and actresses and out into these communities across Montana. So they actually hired a couple of our students from our school to build uh, this basically it's like a choose your own adventure story. So even though they have live actors that had pre-recorded like the path that they're going along, and depending on what choices they make, then certain scenes get shown. And so that is the premise behind this this show, and it's called Zombie Thoughts, and it has everything to do with who you want to be. You get to choose which character you want to be and what choices they make along the way, and what are the ramifications of those choices. So we're able to still bring out art and theater into the community in a safe way.
Oh, that's awesome. Truly, truly a unique thing to be doing. And I mean, obviously, I think I'm going to ask a very dumb question, but with that in mind, what's so unique about esports? Trying to pair with the Montana Repertoire Theater for this fundraiser. What can our community kind of look at? What can they do to help out?
Well, I mean, the good part is actually, and this was something that happened just by chance as well, is that when we talked to them initially about kind of their vision and what they wanted to do, this idea of a choose your own adventure story or a gamification of something that they're doing falls right in line with what we do, right? We play games, we talk about that, but it also has a lot to do with the way that we view the world and the challenges that we as gamers and people we know have also face. So these are things that are very that hit home to us, but it also is part of who we are as a community to help raise each other up and support each other in the hard times. And so, and the good times, of course, but that's part of what we're trying to do is say, we can be supportive of this other group who's trying to do exactly what we're trying to do too. Esports is all about trying to create an environment and try to create a place for people to feel supported and feel like they can be the best versions of themselves. And so we're this is just along the same mission as ours. So it was a nice uh confluence of that.
Sweet. So can you give us a little insight into the actual game itself? Kind of what we talk about choose your own adventure. I'm gonna play dumb here and say what is a choose your own adventure and kind of what would I expect if I sat down to play Zombie Thoughts and what would be kind of my experience?
Absolutely. So it's all web browser based, right? So you get a URL, you log in, and then you just start out with a question. It's just a choice. You say, who do you want to be? Do you want to be Joe? Do you want to be Annie? Depending on who you want to be, then that takes you to the next step. And then you make another choice. Do you want to wear a cowboy hat? Do you want to wear a fedora? And then based on that, and what's happening every time you make those choices is that videos are shown that show that particular person, whoever it is that you've chosen. And then depending on the choices you make along the line, then it kind of tells you or it shows you kind of what's going to happen when you make those choices. What are the things that what is that like? And you know, because it can be very personal in that way that then everybody's experience is a little bit different depending on the different choices that are made. And there's 25 or 30 different paths in which you can go. So you can imagine, depending on which way you go, you can choose all sorts of different pathways to make this experience different every single time you do it.
And from my understanding, the game emphasizes, kind of this idea of like how people are reacting to depression and anxiety and that kind of thing, and it almost simulates it to a point because I think some of those choices that you make can influence the characters in some way. Can you
Yeah,
do you have any insight on that kind of how they kind of combine this idea of you know anxiety and a choose your own adventure?
yeah, yeah. So when you're going through and like some pivotal point comes and you say, if you decide to go down this route, that can increase your anxiety. And then it's reflected in the actors and the actresses, the way that in which they express, or the way that that part of that video comes out. Like, oh, I see. And so it gives you a visual and an audio kind of feedback on you've made this choice and now it's kind of reflecting back to you like this is what could happen based on that choice and sort of kind of reinforcing or giving you that information like oh this is what could be happening or this is what's happening to me and then hopefully then you keep making choices different choices to find resolution to
Yeah.
find something that kind of helps you through those times.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think it's really important that we're, um, kind of trying to raise that awareness on anxiety and depression, especially during a pandemic where everything is changing. No day is the same. Everything is always changing. I one of the just for our viewers and those watching, I'm sure they think this is important and stuff, but can you do you have any kind of insight to give on like why it's so important, not only from just a development side of this game, but maybe even a funding side, like Montana Repertoire I know is almost purely donation driven, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, as we were talking about, this is going out to schools, but they all these schools have to pay a licensing fee to the person that wrote the play, the actors, and so forth. And so the idea is that, well-funded schools, that's no problem, right? They can afford it. They have maybe a good PTA or they have something that helps them be able to bring that experience in because they find it that important. But there are a number of low income schools in which that's just not possible. And so part of this fundraising effort is to be able to help defer those costs. And oftentimes, if you really think about it, the schools that need it the very most are the ones that can afford it. They don't have the familial support. They don't have the community support necessarily, not because they don't want to, not because it's not there. It's just they don't have the monetary support to make it happen. So part of the fundraising part of this is to help schools that need it, we can bring it to them. And so that's what we're trying to hope for. And, just so everyone knows, as you're thinking about giving money to this effort, we have a matching donor that wants to be able to to help provide as well. So we want to try to get as much out there as we can so that those schools that are out there that maybe they only have 10 kids, but it could make a difference in that one kid's life, a huge difference, and it can change the trajectory of their life. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, you know, trying to do as much as we can with what we can, and then, you know, maybe it's changing one or two lives, but that's a huge thing to me. So that's why we try to do things like this as much as possible.
Yeah, and I can't emphasize enough how it's important to try to reach out to the community and get involved in this way. And you know even for those viewers in the chat, if you can't financially donate, like I'm sure Montana Repertoire is always looking for different ways that you can contribute. Michael, are you aware of anything that if, like, let's say a viewer couldn't pay for something? Do you know of any opportunities, even maybe within the School of Media Arts, that students would be able to help?
Yeah, absolutely. So it worked out this semester that we were able to pay the two students that worked on this project. But if depending on how things go, it's very possible they'll do it again. And maybe they'll, need some designers or they'll need some people to create artwork for them or, any of those types of things, please feel free to reach out to me because those are the types of things that, whatever we can do. We have some very talented players and students. I would love for them to be involved at any level. And, these types of things, these types of causes are a great way to give back to our community. And of course, they, they appreciate it so very much. And, so whatever we can. And, we'll try to create opportunities so it's a win for everybody. And so we'll try to make that happen. So whether it's maybe you get credit for doing it, or so if you can't get paid, we'll give you credit, but maybe it can be a paid position, things like that. But yes, any type of volunteer thing, I know they're always looking as a nonprofit. They don't have a huge budget either, but so if we can provide them service or we can provide them, talents, then that's a good thing too.
That's awesome. And obviously, I'm gonna let you do another shameless plug here for the esports team. But there's also probably opportunity within the esports program to help out, with things like this. And obviously the esports program is providing this particular stream today, but I bet you there's more opportunities within the program to help out too.
Oh, 1,000%. If people have ideas, we're always open and accepting new ideas and people that want to help with the program outside of the games they're playing or in addition to the games they're playing. That would be fantastic. And I mean, again, one of our main things is trying to figure out how can we augment your education. So if you're wanting to do something that helps benefit the things you're studying, let's talk about that because those kind of real world experiences, because this is a real world thing, then that can only help you. Because if you think further, think bigger in terms of what are you going to be doing when you're uh, going out into your career life, then what can we do to help with that? What can we do to separate you or differentiate yourself from the other types of resumes that are out there? Well, esports can do that for you, not only as a player, but as an educational opportunity too. So be thinking of those things and see what we can do to kind of help you with that. I know for sure that one of the main things that President Bodnar is trying to promote for all students on campus is for you all to do internships. He would love for every single student to do an internship before they leave the university. So let us provide that for you. Let us figure out what can we do to help you succeed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so with that, I'm gonna ask a couple questions about today's event. So for those of us who maybe don't know what Minecraft is, can you kind of give a little TLDR for the audience? And I mean, I feel like most people know, but just in case we have some new viewership or anything like that.
What Minecraft is?
Yeah, and
Minecraft is a primarily a building platform, right? So it allows us to be creative. It allows us to play with others in a very 8-bit type of world. It was built in a very open source kind of a thing, so that anybody could kind of create their own life and their own world in there. And this is something that I have found from very young kids to older kids that they love doing. And there's a reason why, and it's because of that innate creativity that you all have inside. And it just allows you to do stuff without having to worry about it. Anything, right? It's like a digital version of Legos, right? Getting to build out any type of creation that you can come up with in your mind. And it has all sorts of ways that you can do that and represent something that's exciting and interesting to you, as well as interact with your friends at the same time. So the multiplayer component of it makes it even more interesting. So creating things, crafting things, building things, all of that's there, and it exercises your mind in a way that's relaxing, and it also is a way as a connector. So Minecraft is actually a beautifully made game in lots of ways because of that. And you know, people will talk about, oh, people play Minecraft for hours and hours and hours, and I don't know if that's good, but to me, I think it's good because it gets people thinking about what can I do? And that's really at the end of the day, it's always about exploring and figuring out what are the possibilities and pushing those possibilities. And that's what Minecraft allows you to do is just try stuff out. Even if you don't really even know what's going on at first, you'll figure it out. It's not like it's so insurmountable that you can't that there's no way to know what's happening inside the world. So as you can see on the screen, you can see people wandering around and showing their homes and their buildings and signs and other people. And I mean, that's the best part about it.
That's awesome. Do you have any idea what the um chat has in store, or what the esports program has in store with their little Minecraft event today? Did anyone give you a little sneak peek yet?
No, no, I never got a sneak peek, and I think that was on purpose, right? So that we could
Oh,
look at it with a completely new eye, right? To see what
yeah.
was everybody's idea. I mean, it can be a building thing. It can also be that you build a game within it. It can also be that you're doing like a speed running thing is always a big hit for people. Creating, replicating real world things in the world is a good thing. But I have not actually seen any of the ones that are out there, which makes it fun.
Oh yeah. No, I think there's a lot of good stuff in store for the stream today. Um,
Nice.
and we'll wrap this up here pretty quick and turn it over to our man Disco Potato. But is there any other comments or anything you want to let Twitch chat know and about Montana Rep or the esports program or this event? Anything on your mind?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that I appreciate everyone that's here and all that they're doing for the program. Again, this is one of those things that is just part of who we are, which is continually looking to our community and saying, how can we give back? How can we be part of our community as well as, show off? I mean, this is one of those moments for me where I'm really proud of our esports community for being part of what other people are doing, what other people are trying to promote out there, and so that we can partner with folks like that trying to do positive things in this world. So I love that this event is happening, and I'm really happy that so many people are engaged. So I just
Yeah.
I just appreciate all of you.
That's yeah. As we could see in the chat, or in the Minecraft chat, one of our very own Coles is already starting with the puns. He's very engaging when it comes to the puns. So
Right.
um, yeah. But just so people know, we do not, unfortunately, Montana Rep doesn't have like a Twitch integration, so you will have to click on the donation link. You can also do exclamation or bang, however you want to say it, rep donate, and it'll provide you with a donation link. As Michael said, we do have a matching donor, which makes it really, really awesome because even the small amount, whether it's $1, $2, whatever it is, goes a long way because however much we raise, we'll end up getting a matching donation to basically double everything. So again, a huge cause, helping schools out K through 12, being able to connect this way, in especially a very unique way, since we do have to have this social distancing during a pandemic. So it's a very unique and different way to do it, and obviously an amazing relationship between the Montana Rep Theater, the School of Visual Media Arts, the esports program, and I know they're doing some things with United Way, and a few other groups. So a lot of awesome organizations banding together in this time to try to make stuff happen. So what I'm gonna do is thank you, Michael, so much. I appreciate you coming on and talking, and you did most excellent. Uh, yeah, I don't think you slipped up once, so that was a good time.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna turn this. We got one video to play before we get into it, and we'll play the video from Montana Rep, and then your shoutcaster Disco Potato will take you on a journey with our very own Coles as we explore Minecraft. So I'm gonna turn it over to the video. Thanks again, Michael.
Thanks.